Hey, and welcome to another episode of Haunted Homemaking. So, I'm not a professional seamstress, but I do enjoy making my own clothes, and it kind of gives me an opportunity to make things that I want or wish existed in clothing. So, tonight I'm going to be tackling making a dress, starting from design to making the pattern and then sewing it all together and everything in between. With that being said, stay tuned and enjoy. So, you two just found a giant hole in my dress?
We were just playing a game, and we suddenly stumbled upon your dress that had a hole in it. It's true. We were playing a game, and we found your dress that way. I have no idea who did this, but rest assured, Detective Bobby will bring them to justice. Oh boy.
So tonight I'm going to start off by designing my dress and then taking all the measurements I need for it. When I take my measurements, I'm going to consider the kind of fabric I'm using and how I want it to fit. In this case, I am using a cotton broadcloth, which has absolutely no stretch to it, but that's okay. If you have a custom dress form, that's even better, but I don't. So with some help from Oz, I'm going to measure my bust, waist, and hips. In addition to the usual bust, waist, and hip, I'm also measuring things like my shoulders and arms to get a better fit. I decided on a design that's somewhat form-fitting, so I want these measurements to be as precise as possible. Though, it's a little difficult when your assistant has only one eye, but we got the job done. Thank you, Oz.
Excuse me,
Hey, B.
have you seen this man? Does he look familiar? He's committed many crimes.
That looks like me.
Huh, so it was you.
What was me?
Admit it, you ripped the lady's dress, didn't you?
Ripped her what? I didn't rip anything.
Then where were you this morning?
Where was me?
That's what I said.
Why don't you buzz off, you egg?
Hey, I'm the detective here. You better start answering my questions.
Alright, fine. I was right here tuning this organ, see?
This don't sound in tune to me. Your credibility is going down, my friend.
What? That's impossible. I triple checked it. Hold on.
Huh, interesting. The organ wasn't in tune. Don't leave town, friendo. Huh, a gold pen. Did this have something to do with the dress ripping?
Now that I have taken all my measurements and hurt my own feelings, I can work on the patterns. And now that I think about it, I don't have any tracing paper lying around here. Dylan, coming in handy as always. Thank you so much. This is parchment paper, but this will work just as fine. Drafting this pattern was the most lengthy step, as I spent a lot of time making sure all the pieces fit not only me, but together as well.
Admit it, you ripped the dress. Now that I think about it, I've seen you wear dresses before.
That's my cape, that's not a dress.
Looks like a dress to me.
Why don't you do something more productive?
What's productive?
It means when you work on achieving a goal, like me, working and watering these plants so they can grow big and strong. When are you going to grow up, Bobby G, and stop playing silly detective games?
I am being productive, and just so you know, your hat looks really dumb. Huh.
My hat is not dumb, and my cape is not a dress sheet for brains.
Real suspicious.
Huh.
But cool. You can put it in your... Huh. What's this? A dress found at the scene of the crime? Looks like a dress to me.
So I have all my patterns made and cut out, and the next step is to use interfacing for some structure. But now that I think about it, I don't really have any interfacing.
Heard you needed this.
This is the perfect amount, Melton John. Thank you very much.
Get it together.
So now that we have the interfacing, we can start structuring, which is a very necessary step if you want any kind of lining in your garment. And broadcloth tends to be very flimsy and very see-through. So I'm going to get that done and be right back with all the pieces ready to sew together. Since the fabric I'm using is very flimsy, I'm attaching iron-on interfacing to add more weight to it and make it more stable. Once I have all my interfacing cut out, I'm going to place my fabric on a flat surface and fuse the interfacing to it, making sure the rough side, or glue side, is placed down toward the fabric. Then, with my iron set to steam, I just press until everything is fused together, taking care not to burn my home down again. Once everything is fused, I just cut it out, and now all my pieces are nice and solid. Here, I'm cutting the ectoplasm pattern I'm adding to my dress. Those curves killed my hands and my patience, but they're a nice Halloween-y addition.
Hey, Melton John, you haven't seen any ripped dresses
Nope.
But you didn't let me finish my question.
Haven't seen it.
I haven't said anything.
When you gonna clean up that mess you made?
Mess? What mess?
The soda that you put in the freezer that exploded. That mess.
Oh, that mess? No one told me it was gonna explode. That's not my fault.
Oh, no one told you, huh? Bah.
Interesting. So you haven't seen a dress at all?
Oh, yeah, Ugh.
You think I think these things through? I don't. I don't have time for this. Ooh, what's this? A comb found at the scene of the crime?
So I have all my patterns attached to interfacing, and it's all ready to be sewn together. But what I'm kind of realizing now is that the ectoplasm pattern that I just had to add in has some really tight curves. And that's definitely doable when it comes to kind of sewing all that together and attaching. But I think I'm going to use a mixture of glue and mechanical stitching or hand stitching to kind of attach the pattern onto the actual dress. And then I'm going to use a zipper to kind of bring it all together. But now that I'm thinking about it, I don't really have a zipper.
Did somebody order a zipper?
Just in time, Jackie. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Miss Lady, ma'am. Bobby G's been playing video games and it's my turn.
Has he been on there for a long time?
He's been on there for a real long time.
Okay, how about this? You tell him 5 more minutes and he's done.
Okay, I'll tell him you said so.
Okay, thank you, Jackie. All right, so we are at a go again with the zipper, and I'm going to get that all put together, and then I will be back with the reveal. I'm using rickrack trim and gluing down my curves to sew. Now, your sewing needle isn't really going to go through this glue, but I found kind of strategically spacing the areas where your glue sits still gives you room to sew the trim if you choose to do so. This is mostly just for security on my part. As you'll start to notice in these next few steps, I don't like to pin. And when I do, it's very minimal pinning. Don't ask me why, I'm not sure. But the advice I'm giving you is to definitely pin your fabrics to sew so they don't slip and slide everywhere while you're running them through the machine. I would be lying if I said I didn't have to bring out the seam ripper a few times during this project. And once again, I'm making sure everything fits together before sewing and putting the nail in the coffin. Thank you for joining us on another episode of Haunted Homemaking. I loved how my dress came out, despite all its curves. That was the hardest part, is getting all this right here. But I think it turned out great, and it's inspiring me to kind of create more designs I have conjuring up in this head of mine. Anyway, so a couple of things that I want to address. A regular upload schedule. That's never gonna happen. But I'm gonna work on it. Okay, I'll work on it. That is something that I would like to do. Just because I do like making these videos. Time is just something that no one has. Another thing is a big Halloween episode. I'm thinking about it and I'm kind of starting to plan it, even though it's July, August, whenever you are watching this, but it's coming. And very excited about that. So anyway, yeah, thank you for watching. Take care of yourselves and see you next time. Hey, Bobby G.
I know who ripped the dress.
Really? Who ripped the dress?
Observe. Who couldn't fit into the dress, so he combed his hairs and left white hairs in the comb to fit in the dress? Mountain John. Who got so excited at the prospect of wearing the dress that he took his own dress off to wear the dress? Dylan. Who became so violent and enthralled by having to share the dress that he took out his gold pen and used as a weapon to fend off the other two so that he could take the dress all to himself? Oz. Ladies and gentlemen, the evidence speaks for itself. Consider this case closed. Did you bother to ask Mr. House who ripped the dress? Oh yes, silly me, of course. The house sees everything. You know what? Now that I think about it, maybe it's not important who ripped the dress. Maybe what's really important is that we all come together in times of crisis. Yes, I see the light now. Thank you guys for helping me see the way. Goodbye. Mr. House, who really ripped the dress?
Bobby does have a point. The most important thing is that when the dress was ripped, each of you volunteered materials. Maybe that's the most important thing, is that in the end, we all come together.
It was Bobby, wasn't it?
Yes, it was Bobby.
So if I water this, it'll eat bugs? Even better, it'll eat humans. Cool. Not too much. Cool.